Okay, folks, so I'm starting dinner prepping again. In the fall, I love the yummy stick to your ribs meals, really wholesome. So what I'm actually doing is I'm preparing some beef. This is a chuck roast. There's actually two in here. These are grass-fed from my grandma and uncle's farm. And these are going to cook in my brand new Dutch oven. And I'm making a beef chimichanga mixture. So I will go ahead and make a big batch, and then I'll usually freeze some of it, and then that could be defrosted. This is one of my husband's favorite dishes. So what I'm doing is I went ahead and put them in here, and then I'm going to add some dehydrated onion, just a small, a couple of tablespoons on top. Maybe a little bit more, just to make sure we get it all down in there. And then I'm also going to do some the Redmond salt, and that's a teaspoon or two. Just sprinkle that all over. We're going to put a little bit of oregano, and then garlic powder and black pepper. This is just to start, and then I'll show you the rest of it, because there's actually quite a few ingredients in this recipe. Okay, so I am checking out my roast, and it is pretty well done, nice and tender. I'm actually going to take it out and sit it on the stove and just let it rest for a little while. I cook it at about 275 to 300 for several hours until it's nice and tender. Once it's nice and tender, bring it out, let it rest. I want to let it cool a bit, so that way I can actually break it up. And I'm just going to kind of almost shred it, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so I took the beef and I shredded it all up, took all the fat, as much of the fat as I could off of it. I am heating up a couple tablespoons of ghee. You can use butter if you want. And then over here, I'm going to do, probably it'll be about 1 to 2 cups of shredded up carrot. And then I'm also going to be doing some mushrooms. You can use white mushrooms, baby portobello mushrooms, any type of mushroom really. I don't know if I'd really do a shiitake, but portobellos or just the regular white mushrooms work well. So what I'm going to do is use my little hand chopper, and I'm going to chop up the carrots and then the mushrooms, and I'm going to saute those in the ghee with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to be adding some frozen peppers from the garden. And then the last thing is I'm going to use a little bit of dehydrated onion, because I'm out of regular onion. And we'll be right back in just a minute once I get that going. Okay, so after the carrots and the mushrooms have cooked for about I do it for about 5 to 8 minutes, just so they start getting kind of soft and most of the way cooked. And because we for the most part shred them, there's a few bigger chunks of mushroom in here, but for the most part, because we shred them, they cook relatively quickly. And then I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. If you have an electric stove like I do, I wish I had gas, you're going to be doing medium high. And then I'm going to add my peppers. And then I'm also going to go over to the pantry and get some dehydrated onion. Normally I would dice a whole onion up in here, a good size white or yellow onion. So over here, actually this is my corner cabinet, and I've got dehydrated onions. There's like, I think it's 6 or something onions in this jar. Something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open that and add some of those in here. Okay, so we let everything cook for about another 3 to 5 minutes, and now we're going to add our spices. So we're adding chili powder, cumin, oregano, black pepper. I've already got the onion and garlic in there, and then I got to get some smoked paprika out of the cupboard. And then I'm also going to be adding some raw apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to go ahead and get those in there. It's really to taste. I'd probably say you're going to have about 2 teaspoons of cumin, probably a teaspoon of chili powder, and a half a teaspoon of dried oregano, and just a couple dashes of black pepper. And if you don't feel like it's got enough flavor, you can always add more. So after I added everything in, I'm just going to stir it up and get the spices and the vinegar incorporated. And then I'm going to add the beef back in. And there's a little bit of broth in here too. And this is pretty much it. And then once you get it all just mixed up and the beef is kind of reheated a little bit thoroughly, then we can put this into a tortilla shell. And we use a little bit of oil in a skillet. And you can fry it. Now, I don't eat that. My husband likes it in the fried tortilla. And the kids do too. But I can't have that because it's got gluten in it. So I usually just eat mine in a salad or over rice or something like that. Okay, so to finish them off, I have some grapeseed oil heating up in a skillet. I have a tortilla that I lightly warmed, and I'm just going to take a spoonful of the filling and place it in the center. And you got to be careful not to get too much. So, we'll see. That might be a little too much. See if I can do this and hold the camera at the same time. So you put it right in the center, and we're going to fold the bottom up. So we're kind of making an envelope. So we're going to fold each side and then flip it up and over. And that holds it all together. Then we're going to lay it folded side down into the skillet and just until it's lightly browned, and then we'll turn it over, brown it on the other side, and it'll be all done. And check. Okay, now I think my oil is probably done enough. I want to make sure that it's, yep, it should be good. I'm going to take it, and we're going to, it's a little too slippery today. And then you can see where it's nice and golden brown. We'll finish browning that one up, and that's it. So that's how we make our homemade chimichangas. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell for the notifications. And as always, have a good one.